Hello, everyone. I'm here to speak to you today about the reality of shadow facing in the ascension process. Now, the reality of shadow facing is internally going in and dealing with all your fears, your traumas, your losses, and anything that is haunting you on an internal level. At this time, in this phase of doing things, you are actually going inside and you're dealing with a lot of internal issues. So basically what you're doing here is coming to balance within yourself. You're basically coming to a place where you are completely solid and have a complete foundation within yourself that nothing and no one can affect. So basically this, in a lot of ways, you're basically dealing with all the psychological issues. And this is done through, as I just said, psychological, emotional, spiritual, and physical means. And this is in order to connect to your higher self. Basically, you're, in a different one term, you're purifying yourself internally. You're basically getting rid of all the baggage that is inside of yourself by getting to know all your weaknesses and to create, as I said, the solid, unbreakable, yet adaptable and fluid, very important, mind, body, spirit, and soul within yourself. You're coming to a complete, solid place within the self. That way, you're not going to be messed up inside, and you're going to be able to overcome all these things. And also, no external source can hit you and basically knock you down or cause you to go off track in any way if you have specific goals set. This is part of shadow facing. You're also going inside yourself to become one with yourself. That's finding this balance. Okay? This is about understanding and becoming one with yourself on all levels. Accepting yourself completely for what you are, what you're capable of, and not having any doubts about yourself at all. So with this, you're basically going into yourself and you're figuring out what things are there that cause you to doubt yourself, what things are there trauma-wise or fear-wise, whatever, that's internal, that's causing you to have doubts, have these fears, all these things that are getting in the way of you truly being one with yourself at a higher level, but also living the life you know you can truly live without all these traumas. This is also coming to an understanding of what limiting beliefs are, the ones that you have that have been programmed into you by your family, social, religious, and other means. Now, these are called limiting beliefs because they are not necessarily what you truly believe within yourself. They're just things that you've been told that you're supposed to believe. They're basically in what I call forms of brainwashing. So basically this is part of a freedom from past, from the things that you truly don't believe, that now you have seen or are seeing that, hey, I don't or may not truly believe in what that is. Is that really something within myself that I believe? And that's also considered a shadow. This shadow is something someone's told you that you have to believe or that you have to do, whatever. So that is what limiting belief basically is it's something that's not truly your belief, but you believe it because you've been told through whatever means that you're required to, or that you have to, or that if you don't, you're going against the status quo. So, as I was always told as a kid, don't just follow people. Be your own person. Understand what's going on around you, but choose for yourself. It's simple. There's no reason not to. We've all been like this. We've all been told this as children, those of us who had parents who were free thinkers, that basically think for yourself, make choices for yourself, decide for yourself. Don't just follow. So that's part of what limiting beliefs is all about, and breaking free from them. It's breaking free from the brainwashing. Okay, so this is also about overcoming addictions that are controlling you in any way. Addictions are weaknesses that can be taken advantage of and used against you. They stem from internal baggage that you are afraid to face, which is causing self-destructive behavior. So this is pretty much very simple. Most people know this from a psychological perspective, that yes, addictions are used most of the time to cover up whatever issues are going on internally. So you use drugs, eating, playing video games all the time. Whatever things that they're used, they're called escape mechanisms in order to not have to actually deal with reality. So sometimes these addictions are used to basically just dampen down and not really do things. So this is also about living life. So shadow facing is about overcoming whatever things are going on inside yourself so that you're dealing with these problems. That way they don't start becoming external problems, which are your addictions, alcoholism, drug use, whatever these addictions might be, things that are not healthy for you. That's what this is all about. It's about going inside, defeating whatever things are haunting you. Truly, defeating it is part of what this process is. That's why it's called shadow facing or shadow integration, because there's aspects of the shadow that are not bad. They're good because there's certain things like being aggressive that people will consider bad, but it's not. The ability to defend yourself is a necessary aspect in life, real life, okay? So some people see that as a darkness. It is not a darkness. The ability to defend yourself is not dark. It's good. So it's something that you must understand. Learning and applying a set method to deal with all the internal baggage is essential to your overall mind, emotion, physical, and spiritual well-being. And once these methods are in place and all past problems have been dealt with successfully, future problems will be far easier to get through and past quickly, because you will already have a tried and true method at your disposal that can be applied whenever they are needed. Okay, so that's part of this process. In shadow facing, part of what you're doing is you're learning how to use good, positive, effective methods in order to overcome problems that you face, whether they are internal or external. So what I could be an internal problem could be self-doubt. Okay, I have self-doubt. I'm not feeling that I can do whatever it is that I'm trying to do. I feel inferior in some way into achieving that specific goal that I'm setting for myself. Well, now that you've done the shadow facing process, you've learned different methods and techniques of dealing with this internal struggle. You now have methods and processes so you can see exactly what this is, and then you can overcome it. In the beginning, as you do this, they are a little more difficult, of course, because you're learning, you're practicing, you're coming to an understanding of what these methods are. But as you do it, through time, it becomes easier. When you apply it, you just go, okay, this is what I do. Boom, boom, boom. Done. It's not a problem anymore. So when you face something that is external, for instance, like you come up against a specific problem that you may have to face, okay? If you've trained long enough and you've practiced long enough, you're able to overcome that fear. And you're able to overcome that fear in a fast, quick way, because you've already set yourself up internally, psychologically and emotionally, in a way that you do not have to go through a process slowly any longer. You've already gone through this process internally as part of why we use meditations, because in a meditational process, you're going in and you're basically dealing with these things. So in the psychological aspects, you're applying the meditation. So I have a meditational video already. It's called the No Mind Meditation. It's door to the subconscious. Part of what that process is. Everything I'm doing here, everything I'm putting on my channel is all interconnected, okay? Shadow facing is part of ascension. Ascension is the whole process which has psychology, emotional, all these aspects to it. But there's also warrior phases to this, okay? It's very important, because when you go inside yourself, you have to be able to overcome these things. Some people see these internal things, the shadow as I call it, but some people call them internal demons. So in some aspects, you're going in and you're defeating this demon that's holding you back. So here's the warrior aspect, which is part of who I am because of my warrior backgrounds. So also, these types of aspects come in. They help build self-confidence. You can go into yourself, you can overcome these things, you're building your self-confidence. As you do this, the methods you learn, you can apply. As you learn how to apply them in a peaceful, or whatever you would want to call it, a setting where you're not in an external conflict or in a situation where it's high stress, or any other aspect like that where you're having to deal with these issues coming at you that you could possibly have doubts about yourself from an external source, you've dealt with it on an internal way, in an internal way. Now, when you've done this, it builds you on or in any aspects that are happening external. So this is what a lot of this is about, dealing with all the external or internal aspects that are going on right now inside yourself, building yourself up, making yourself strong, making yourself completely capable. Then when anything happens to you externally or causes internal problems, you already have a set way of dealing with things that will absolutely be there for you all the time. It's now a mindset. You have now created a mindset for yourself, which is a lot of what I'm doing here. Setting these things up so that you can work through a process that will completely make it to where you are 100% capable of being who you are, facing any situation you have to face, whether it's internal or external, and to completely go through with all that you want, whatever goals you have set for you. Here, it's about the ascension process, but that applies throughout life. It's how to live. It's how to be. This is what this is about. Becoming more, overcoming whatever things are in the way, applying a process or system or methods, techniques, whatever you want to call this, and then you're doing it. You're putting it all down. You're going through this process to become more, as it's called here, becoming one with your higher self, which basically means who you truly are without all the baggage that's there, removing that. So that's what this is about here. The beginning, the reality of shadow facing. That's what this is about. Going internal, dealing with whatever problems are there that are preventing you from becoming who you truly are and doing and being what you're truly capable of. I'm going to go deeper. Next videos, we'll keep going into these kinds of things. Okay? I'll keep putting stuff out for you guys. So, hang in there. Keep on going. Be strong. Have a good one.